can adjust it any way you want. You can.
Well, I'll get some of the mic in the shot here.
Let me get my mic. Yeah, my mic's in there, so we're good.
I think so.
Cool. Right on. So, my name's Tim Darmick, and this is Georgina Speaks, and I cannot tell you how happy I am to have with me today Tom Sandler. He's a nationally renowned photographer, and I cannot say go look it up because you'll be quite impressed. So, Tom, thank you so much for doing this today, and let's jump in,
Okay. Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you for having me. And I've always been a big fan of Georgina, and I've actually lived here in one way or another most of my life.
I wondered. I didn't know how deep your roots were.
Yeah, they're pretty deep. My parents, we had a family cottage since the late 1950s.
Wow.
On at Willow Beach on Rockaway Road.
Oh yeah, so there.
And that was our original cottage, and just great growing up in this atmosphere.
Do you remember what the number of the cottage was?
No, I don't.
I was with somebody last night.
It was up from the lake. It was near Metro. I don't know. Brother, she'd always be sharing,
supporting.
It was just wonderful. It was such a great vibe around the energy she had,
So that would be the book that you and Peter Jennings are doing. Yes.
And you can get it. It'll be a hard copy, but it'll also be an electronic version of it. You can get it on. We have a website. It's www.untilismileatyou.com.
Right.
So you can see information about her, and we're going to put more of the pictures up on that website.
And I will, whatever I can do on my site, every time I podcast, no matter what. No, I love your mother's story. It's amazing, and it takes me back to when I was a kid with my dad. Like all that stuff. Absolutely. And it's a huge slice of Canadian history that people should really know.
Well, people don't really know the writers as much as they do the performers, and especially back from those days.
Well, from those days, a long time. There's so many Canadians, especially in the 60s and 70s.
I know. Well,
and they would just go out of their way not to have it known because they didn't want to be.
Oh well, that's probably true.
Like it was a big thing in those days. Not like people were not promoting. There's a lot of great Canadian work was getting done, and nobody was knowing about it.
I found out because my mom was the inspiration for to start the Canadian Music Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
So both her songs are inducted into that the first year, and it honored songwriters because they realized that there's some of the top songs in the world are written by Canadians, and nobody ever knows about them, like Red River Valley, and I mean there's so many of them.
It's old, but it's a pretty damn famous song. It's almost still Red River Valley is almost still a household. I don't know anybody who doesn't know about it.
That's right. Yeah. It's the first song you learn when you learn to play the piano.
That's what I was thinking just before you came here. Is one because I had a quick look through your gallery on your website, your photography gallery.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out when I was looking at it, I was thinking, how many Canadians would be able to say that they haven't seen at least one of your pictures? I mean, they don't know. They don't know you.
No.
And you don't know the songwriters. You don't know the photographer. You don't.
That's good. That's an interesting point. Yeah.
So, but I wonder how many Canadians wouldn't have seen at least one of your pictures. And I don't think there would be very many.
Probably not very many. No,
if any.
That's true. If any. I know. You're right. You're
no
right.
small.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty cool.
Call me silly, like I don't know. I'd love to achieve that.
Boy, I wish I had $1 for everyone to see that.
Well, yeah, for everyone who's seen one of your pictures, you'd be.
That's right.
Yeah, whatever the population of Canada is, that's how much you'd have in the bank. Yeah,
so it's true. Interesting.
It is. I mean, because I looked and I noticed a few iconic pictures ones that I've seen over the years. I remember, I remember when that picture came out. I remember when that appeared somewhere. I don't remember where I've seen it, but I know I've seen it.
Yeah.
And your gallery is full of those.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
for
true.
sure. So,
well, I have I have samples of some, and you have them on the computer. I mean, I don't know if you want to look at some things now, or what are you going?
Well, okay. So you at this point. Well, I just I started this interview with saying that you're a nationally renowned photographer. You, for many, many, many years, photographed for the Toronto Star.
Yes.
The official waterfront.
Yes. Yeah, I spent 10 years as the official photographer of the Toronto waterfront, 79 to 89. Before that, I used to do special effects photography for a big audiovisual company and do animation photography.
And that was back when special effects took
That's when there was no computers to do them.
It took a little knowledge to actually
That's right.
Do
you
it.
actually had to draw the cells and shoot one frame at a time and flip them over.
That's.
But photography was something I wasn't really that. I never really grew up with it. I wasn't really that interested in until I became later in life. I got married and I was in my mid-20s. Where I actually had to find a full-time job, get a job. So music was always my aspiration in life, or being creative, I suppose.
Creativity is an interest, like it's whole,
I was always encouraged. That was one thing that my mom always encouraged, was to be creative. I would invent things, or I would design my room in such a way that it looked like a psychedelic, disco.
Yeah.
And instead of being upset about it, she loved it. She was.
Anything else you need.
She would encourage me, and she'd actually always want to come into the room and party with us. Maybe not tonight.
Some other time. Mom.
but she was very encouraging, just to be creative in general. I mean, if it was in music, it was really something special.
Having that encouraged,
she was just got enthusiastic about inventions and about exciting things. She was very sharp that way.
Well, having your creativity encouraged wasn't necessarily all that popular when you and I grew up.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, my dad was just the opposite. He was a very straightforward, very conservative businessman. My dad.
Oh, yeah.
They were kind of like a little opposite, Yeah. But he was very smart, and he was smart enough to sort of let my mom spin and do her thing.
So he's supportive that way.
Yeah, he was very supportive of her, and you know what? My mom could see that kind of stuff would make somebody happy or make me very happy. So why not? Like you said earlier, that's the most important thing, to see your children happy and being and growing and everything. And that was all part of it. So
right on.
It was very fortunate.
So just to finish up with your credentials.
Yes.
And then we'll move on to the picture.
Okay.
And that is, you were official photographer to the Queen. I mean, who does that? And then official photographer to a number of the members of the royal family. And you actually...
How did this happen?
Yeah, what the hell? So anyway, Prince Edward and Sophie, the Duke of Edinburgh.
Yes.
You actually accompanied them,
and the Philip and Charles.
You accompanied them on a vacation that they were on?
No.
It was an official visit that they were on?
They would come to Canada on a working vacation, they called it. And they did really work hard.
Well, anything they ever did was not a vacation? We're working, right? right?
Well, I don't know. No, I think there are real vacations, that you go on. But I'll be honest with you. I would spend 3 days or 5 days, however long they were here.
Right.
And they would go. We would do probably about 3 or 4 different events, or 3 events during the day,
right.
and then some big gala fundraising at night. And
right.
by the end of the day, I was like, you get me a stretcher because I was exhausted. When I'm carrying all the gear and I'm running and stuff like that. But so they just keep going and going and going, and the amount of money that they raised and they raised the profile of these places.
Charities.
I really thought I liked that part.
Yeah, of course.
And because they were using their position and their power to draw attention to these really good causes, like the Countess of Wessex. That's Sophie. She was like the patron of Toronto General Hospital, and a school out in, I think it's New Haven, for autistic kids, and